Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Fenton Forest Farm. This is episode number 9, and we're just going to start out right quick here at the BGA because I wanted to let you all know that this is a brand new game day, and we're basically still unable to uncover 182,888 liters of silage. And so what I sort of did was we're going to abandon the BGA process, at least for compacting silage here at this location. And instead, I just thought I would show you that what I did was I added 182,000 liters of silage to our storage at the main farm. So we've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 342,000 liters down at the main farm. So what we will do is I'll probably set up a course play route, and as I've often said, we're going to kind of be in the business of selling silage to the BGA or selling it elsewhere wherever we can get a decent price and maybe the best price for it. We will just make our silage at the main farm in the main farm bunkers since it's worked. I've made probably 3 batches there over the course of the different versions of this map that we've had access to. And of course, this is the version 1 of the official public release version of this map. And so that is that. So we've got Billy Bob and Jack working today. One of them is mowing our grass field there. He is cutting grass. So the plan is to bring that grass and put that into the silage bunker. And then we also have the other hired worker, maybe that is Jack out there, cultivating the big field number 1, where we're getting ready to put wheat into that field. So welcome to spring, I suppose we should say. One thing that I will be doing is trying to get basically a double crop out of fields 1 and possibly one other field. I'll have to take a look and see what my notes were there, but basically we're going to sort of simulate that we're in the climate that will allow us to essentially double plant these fields in this particular year. So we'll plant wheat in that field first, and then oops, we almost turned our truck over, and then whenever it comes time around to harvest that, we'll harvest that wheat, and then we'll turn around and put soybeans on that. So we're kind of, I guess for lack of a better description, we're kind of emulating seasons on the farm that we did, the map that we did, Midtown USA. We did that and got that done. Let's go ahead and pick up these chicken eggs here, and we'll throw them into our thing here. Oh, we dropped them. Oops. Have to be a little more careful with throwing these eggs around. My gosh, come on, Jerry. There we go. So I did swap these out. I don't know if I mentioned that in the previous episode. I think I did. How I put the reusable ones in here. I wanted to throw out an idea for anyone that happens to be a decent modder, modding equipment and stuff like that. How neat would it be to have one of these as a mod, a pallet jack, basically where we could basically, much similar to how we move the ramp or the conveyors around, where we basically, climb into this, and then we have the ability to push this around and lift this up, because this would be perfect for moving these types of pallets around in a facility like this. We basically could move them over here and stage them to get ready to be picked up by a front loader or something like that. I think that would be really, really cool. So if anyone has the ability to do that, or if you know that something like this already exists, and I've searched high and low for it and couldn't find anything, but I think that would be really cool for use on our farm. So all right, so we're just going to buzz out of here and get on back to the main farm. Just kind of wanted to talk about that pallet jack and pick up those eggs and everything. So we're just gonna cut across this grass here, cheat just a little bit and get over here. So I'm feeling much better now. It's been several days since I recorded episode 8, and I think I was telling you all that in episode 8 I was about to lose my voice, and it is a little bit better. I haven't been sick. It's just I think it was from essentially the stomach flu that I had, the you know well, the throwing up and everything, those actions kind of stressed my throat out or whatever we want to say, and I just didn't recover from that. I did, or I just barely have recovered from that, is what I should say. I did go to the doctor, as I had mentioned on Tuesday, had a physical and all that kind of stuff done, and pretty much I'm okay. My cholesterol is a little high, my weight's a little high, as I sort of knew that it would possibly be because I haven't done a whole lot of working out or anything like that in recent weeks, months, I should say. So let's go ahead and get in this guy here. We'll disconnect the plow, and we're going to hook up our seeder because we're going to, like I said, we are going to put wheat into that field. But yeah, so at least I have a plan. I used to be a lot heavier than I am now. I was in the 250 range, not too many years ago, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and my cholesterol was really high. And I will just say one thing: I did swap out a couple of pieces of equipment. I swapped out the Corona forage wagon there. That's a Stevie mod, and also swapped out and got his Big M. Because he now has a PTO shaft and a rear hitch, and so that's going to help out on the farm and everything. But like I said, I had high cholesterol. I was taking statins for that and was suffering some of the side effects from the statin medication, pain and all sorts of things going on. And so I really wanted to get rid of that. I wanted to lose some weight. I wanted to, try to do a better job of just, being in better shape physically, and I figured that would tie in mentally as well and all that kind of stuff. And so I sort of went through this process of basically watching what I ate. I counted my calories, did all those kind of things that one has to do. And well, he's not cultivating all the way to the end, but I think that's going to be okay. I don't think that this cultivator requires us to I don't think this cultivator requires us to cultivate, or the seeder doesn't require us to cultivate before, so we'll just kind of have to make up for that. I don't know why that is. I don't know why sometimes they leave those gaps, and this is just a standard hired worker. So let me do this. Let me get set up here. Let me get lined up, get my GPS going, and I'll be right back with you. All right, back at you. For whatever reason, I just have a really difficult time backing up this particular seeder, well, probably this seeder or the plow with this articulated tractor job there. Let me get rid of those lines because we're going to want to take a screenshot for sure at some point in time. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I'll get back to my weight loss story here in just a moment. I think we'll just grab a screenshot here. There we go. Putting wheat into the ground. All right, year number 2. So like I said, I was a lot heavier than I am now, but I have gained a considerable amount of weight back. But I managed to essentially get off all the statin drugs. I managed to lose about 50 pounds, and I was around 185 or so, 180. So I lost more than 50 pounds. I lost about 70 pounds, I suppose. But long story short, I managed to get off the statin drugs, and that was very important to me. And I took a lot of pride in basically being able to do that. And all I really did was I walked like crazy, and I just counted my calories, and I just made sure that I finished the day with that I burn more calories than what I consumed, and over a period of time, if you do that and stick with it and don't cheat and don't have days where you fall prey to a piece of chocolate cake or a cheeseburger or something like that, you will eventually lose weight. That is just the way that it works. And like I said, I was able to lose that weight, and I felt better, and was really proud of the accomplishments that I made. And so was my doctor as well, as far as that goes. because again, I think he was the doctor at the time that I had was certainly pro doing things naturally versus taking medications to fix problems or mask problems or whatever. So several years went by, and I struggled to try to maintain the weight as one does, and holidays and just being too busy to really do things and focus on things kind of managed to get me sidetracked on my whole journey and everything. And so, long story short, again, here I am, kind of back in the modern day of things, and I have allowed my weight to creep up just over 200 pounds, and I really would like to get back down to the 180, 185 range, and so I'm going to be doing some walking and just basically counting calories and trying to eat right and everything, and hoping that my cholesterol also dropped down as well. So but that was a good sign to have that done. Now, my blood pressure was a little bit elevated according to my doctor and everything, and he sort of thinks that once I get back into the routines of actively walking and eating a little bit better, the blood pressure will come down. It's not in a danger zone or anything like that. I do have a high stress job, and that probably attributes to some of that elevated blood pressure readings, but I definitely want to watch that, maintain that. I've got a blood pressure wrist cuff that I can measure my own blood pressure, so I'm doing that a couple of times a day just to make sure that everything is moving in the right direction. But really, it's just going to be a key on making sure that I get out and get some walking done and just enjoy the outdoors. And that's what I really like about walking. I've got a treadmill, but to be quite honest, it's just not as exciting to spend time on the treadmill as it is to get out and be one with nature. So that's kind of my favorite thing to do. So that is my goal, and we'll make all that happen and everything, and get things tidied up with the body and stuff like that. I also had a shingles vaccine because I did have chickenpox as a young lad, and my mom developed shingles about a year and a half ago. She thinks that she caught it at actually her doctor's office. She was there having a checkup and everything, and she's got some high blood sugar, diabetic issues and stuff that she's dealing with. And then all of a sudden, not too long ago, she developed shingles. And so the amount of pain and everything that she has gone through because of this, she basically said, I encourage you to get the vaccine as soon as you can. And my doctor basically recommends anyone that's had chickenpox that is over the age of 50 is a good candidate for the vaccine. From what I understand, it's a 2-part vaccine. I took part number 1, and then I go back in 2 months and I took part number 2. Now, I will tell you that I had this shot on Tuesday, and by Tuesday evening, certainly Wednesday morning, which is actually yesterday morning, I thought I'd been hit by a bus. I mean, literally, I was aching. My arm still has a bit of a knot on it where the injection site was, and more or less my arm hurt just about as bad as a flu shot makes my arm hurt. And as I said, I also felt like that I was coming down with the flu, but I think it was just the side effects of the vaccine. So that is wearing off now, and I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good now. I don't have near the problems that I had before. So hopefully part number 2 will not be as bad, but I'm pretty sure that my mom has suffered a lot more pain and everything due to the shingles virus, developing shingles, than what this causes, what the vaccine causes. So, it's well worth, in my opinion, to go through the process to get the vaccine, especially if you have someone in your family that already has shingles, that's developed shingles, because if you're here in the U.S., you've probably seen the Terry Bradshaw commercials. Terry Bradshaw is a ex-NFL quarterback, for those of you not in the country, and he's often talked about the shingles virus and how painful it is, and my mom, I can attest to that. It is pretty painful. So my dad's had the vaccine. And like I said, I've had it now, and so hopefully that will prevent me from getting the shingles virus. I hope so, anyways. A dirty John Deere tractor. A dirty John Deere tractor and a dirty seeder, I guess. I don't know if the seeder is getting as dirty as the tractor, but I think, to be fair, I think the tractor was basically dirty when we got started with this project, because we essentially didn't wash her up after we got done plowing and pulling some of the other equipment around the farm. So that will all be fine. We'll do maintenance on our equipment. Let's bring up the HUDs again, and we'll get. Oops, I guess what happens is when I do Alt-1 to hide the HUDs, I guess it turns off the seeder. So that may be. It's still off. Sorry about this, folks. All right, back on. So we'll just let that go. We'll get rid of the map because we don't need that. We don't need the map. We're a guy. We're not going to ask for directions anyway, right? All right. So I'm quite getting used to this GPS mod, the new version of the GPS mod, the vehicle steering assist or whatever it's called. So that's cool. Stevie has released a updated mod pack. I think he's called it Mod Pack 4, that has a lot of different updates to it. Of course, it incorporates the Corona Big M with the PTO and the hitch, so that's going to come in handy if you want to, if you basically want to mow and either pick up grass, or maybe mow and bell grass, or mow and tedder, whatever you want to do. You should be able to do that now with the Big M and the hitch on the back. And he's also released some other updates as well. And he's working on, you might have seen that Giants released their heating plant. He's released his version, or he's working on his version of that. It's not been released just yet, but I'm sure it's just around the corner. And he's put in some enhancements to it and everything. So basically worked his Stevie magic as Stevie enjoys doing. And of course, we love his mods here on this channel. And I know that my good friend Duckzorly of Duckzorly Gaming, he's a big fan of Stevie as well. We love his maps, we love his mods, and we just basically love everything about Stevie. So earlier in the episode, I was talking about the BGA, and we kind of started up there. So again, what we're going to kind of do is we're going to cut grass. We're going to still make hay and everything as well, because obviously we need to feed our horses, our sheep, our cows, those kind of things. But we're going to be alternating our grass field between cutting it for grass, doing it for hay. We'll also do the verge and everything around all the fields, probably just do that as grass and pick that up. Store that at our main field silo, and as and when, more or less as and when necessary, we'll dump that grass into our silage bunker and make silage out of that grass, and then basically pick that up and probably store it in our silage bunkers, and then maybe sell a few tipper trailers at a time. Essentially, what I'd like to be able to do is increase our money. We're at 156,120 and counting down, because we are paying Billy Bob and Jack to work on the farm. But go ahead and begin building our money and everything up in what we need to do, so that essentially we can expand our fields, buy some new fields, and what have you. But we are going to be planting, just for the kind of the plan. This field again is going to be wheat first, and then we're going to try to get soybeans on this. We're going to do the same thing for field number 10. We're going to plant canola first, and then follow that up with soybeans. We're going to put sugar beets on field number 2, and then field number 3 and field number 5, we're going to plant those in oats, because again, we're going to need a lot of oats for our horses. And speaking of our horses are doing fine. As you know, we have our hired worker that's coming in and riding those horses each and every day. And so hopefully in a few more game days, we'll be able to sell those for profit, I'm hoping, and then buy a new batch there on the main farm. So at one point we did have, we made about 38,000 off the BGA, selling at the BGA. And then also, you might remember I talked a little bit about, I think at the last episode, that talked a little bit about selling the straw. And actually, the straw that, let me pick up that and turn that off, the straw that we managed to pick up off that field after we had harvested that earned us about $60,000. So it is certainly worth it. It's worth it of your time, I think, to pick that up and either store it or pick it up and sell it, and not just spread it out on the field and use it for fertilizer. So we'll definitely be doing that with both wheat and our oats that we're going to plant. And of course, we need straw on the farm as well, just for the simple fact of making our total mix rations and bedding and stuff like that. So obviously it's something that we need, but that was about 3 loads or so. I think we got about $20,000 per load selling it at the facility that Stevie put on the map. So actually, I think we belled it, didn't we? Yeah, we left the straw on the field. We belled that straw. That's what we did. We belled it, and I sold the bells. Yeah, the bells. We had about 3 loads of bells, and they came in at about $20,000 each load. So again, I think that was like 30. I think the trailer holds 39 bells or something like that. So again, not bad to do it. And of course, we can sort of simulate that we're providing straw bales for other farmers in the area. We like to do that here in our Let's Plays, and so why not enjoy that? All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a bit of a short episode because I came downstairs without a glass of water or a glass of iced tea, and my throat is starting to get a bit dry and starting to crack just a little bit. So I'm going to wrap this up. This will probably be just a little over 20 minutes in length for this video, but that's okay. I'll sort of make it up next time, or I know some of the other videos were a bit longer, so that's okay too. Everything will come out at the end just fine. And when we come back together for the next video, we'll find something to do, something else maybe that we can do that's a little different. I might plant some of the other fields off camera, and then maybe do a little bit of mowing off camera, or maybe I'll save that for on-camera work. I don't know. We'll figure something out and just keep moving the chains down the field and keep making some progress and keep making some money. And I may actually even sell a little bit of silage as well, just to kind of bring our coffers up just a bit. But I think we're going to be doing okay. We've got a good plan ahead of us, and if anything, we'll also make money off of selling some of the wheat that we have, and of course the soybeans. And we're going to be planting sugar beets this season as well. That's going to go on to field number 2, and just a lot of fun time. So I think until next time, I'm going to wish you all a very good day, and I hope that you are having a good month of March. And while we had a blizzard yesterday, maybe I'll talk about that next time. And talk to you all very soon. God bless you all. Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye for now.